And then she's off.
Hey Angel Faye, how's it going? Working on your book cover designs website. Awesome. Excuse me.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Yay, the Fae is joining us today. Cool.
Yes. I love Monday streams.
Me too, actually. They're always lighthearted and fun.
Exactly.
Well, we're gonna do a topic today that I think, yeah, the gang is here, Angel. Yeah, we're gonna do a topic today that I think people are probably particularly interested in, which is how the hell to get started on a bullet journal if you've never done it before.
This is a good topic for me at the moment.
Hooray! I'm still on the starting soon screen. Yeah, I figured, but you know what? Let's get this started. We will run the theme music now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Hello there, and welcome to Bullet Journaling for Chaos Gremlins. Today, we are going to do a topic which I know is probably near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, and that is how do you start a bullet journal if you've never done one before? Right? And volunteering for tribute today, we have Clockwocket, who is starting his bullet journal, and he has all sorts of beautiful supplies there and ideas, and we're going to help him pinpoint what he wants to do with his journal so that it will probably work most effectively for him. So thanks for agreeing to do this today.
Could use the help because I'm kind of overwhelmed by the number of choices.
The tyranny of choice. Yeah, that's a thing that hurts my poor ADHD brain. Yeah, I get it. So, okay. So, I figure the best place to start, right, is to think about obviously this idea appealed to you for a reason. And the question is why? What are you looking to do it for? What is your purpose?
A lot of my purposes, I've always wanted to do journaling, but it gets boring.
Uh huh.
Fair.
And then I forget to do it. And then I don't care about doing it because it's boring.
That's fair. Yeah, me too.
Um,
Yep.
I want to keep track of the things that impact my mental health and my productivity and just all the things that I forget that I don't really want to forget. I want to be able to look things up and remember them. Does that sound silly?
This
No.
sounds like exactly the same reasons I started doing it, actually. Yeah, I saw that people were like getting their stuff together and they were, keeping track of things. And, I was like, with the creative aspect to it, this would probably really be something I would resonate with. Because, yeah, like you, right? Like, okay, so I used to get all those wonderful, the planners, right? The daily planners. I'd get like the fancy ones with the pseudo leather or even real leather covers, and I'd get them at the stationery store, and I thought they were just the neatest thing, and I'd bring them home and I'd use them for a week, and then I'd not. And part of it is because the structure is not intuitive or engaging to my very childlike ADHD brain. It gets bored, right? And the other thing is that I found that having this, while it's a really good idea in principle to have a time structure where you can go, okay, at 8 o'clock I'm doing this, and at 10 o'clock I'm doing that, and at 1 I'm doing this. My life does not work that way. So there is just no way for me to time block that way. So what I needed was a flexible system that where I could change the time blocks, right, and move it around. Also, my purpose was increasing my productivity, getting my mental health together, tracking the things that I forget, right? And just having like better overall focus. Initially, it was entirely for mental health with a little bit of productivity stuff. Now it's like a balance of the two. And that's another thing to remember. So, principle number one, okay? Once you have decided on your purpose, you can change your mind. It is okay to go, you know what? This isn't fucking working for me. It's okay to go, you know what? This spread works and this one doesn't. I'm not doing this one again next month, right? You can change it as you go. You can, leave it in the middle of it. You're allowed to experiment. If you treat it like a glorious experiment, it makes it a little less intimidating, I find. So,
Hmm.
all right. So you want to track your mental health and help work on that. You want to remember the things that you tend to forget that you don't want to forget, right? And you want to improve your productivity. These are your purposes. Am I getting that right?
There,
Like, go ahead.
I added you with a printable that may help with the mood tracking. I at least love it.
Cool. Okay. You got a link, or where did you put the link?
I I put it in bullet journaling and I added
Okay.
Clockwocket.
Brilliant. I will go look in that channel and I will pull it up.
At the point I can start putting this back down. I just had to separate the stickers from the paper.
Yeah, that's totally understandable. Clockwocket's got this really neat. He showed me. He's got this really cool envelope full of these wonderful steampunky vintage things that I guess
Yeah, I'm
he's
looking at them.
going for his first theme with, which is lovely. That's another thing, right?
They are really cool.
Advice the Clockwocket does not need, but other people might who are watching the show, and that is decide on your first theme, right? And then get stuff that excites you. Like pick a theme that excites you and get stuff that excites you that you want to use for that theme. Oh, I'm in the wrong server. That explains a lot. I'm like going up and down. Where's the bullet journaling channel? I want to show a pre-made. Okay, yes. We will show this on screen.
And Quill, if you're here, it's the one you sent me when I was looking for stables.
And I just realized I don't have the chat up. I should fix that.
Okay, we're going to drop my camera here for a minute so that we can see. There's the printable. Now, it's kind of hard to see on my window, but reading log. Okay, but yeah, you can write whatever in there, right? That's cool. Handy. I think that's the one you wanted to show, wasn't it? Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, but
wrong link. Here we go. Right link. Silk and Sonder printables. Okay. Mood tracker. That's handy. Yeah, that would work really well for me. My initial mood tracker was a wheel. I'm branching out a little bit this month. I'm doing a series of teacups, but I found that starting with a wheel was very effective for me because then it helped me kind of get a sense of looking at it at a glance. And then they show you how you might fill it out. That's really useful. Oh, yeah. Here's a habit tracker. I love these half circle trackers. They're, I find they're kind of difficult to make without special tools, but Clockwocket has the tools. So this is really cool. And okay, so a lot of people are combining a lot of the habits that they want to track. I tend to separate them. Either one is perfectly legit. If you want to take up less, if you're journaling on a budget, for example, this is a great way to do it because it puts everything in one spot. A self-care bingo layout, that's a good idea. Yeah, I do self-care bingo. How much overlap is there between what you say is important to you and how you spent your attention over the last month? Now, that's a good reflection question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. All right, so this is a really cool, and it's just a free printable, eh?
Yep.
All right, I will drop the link in the chat here for people who are watching the stream. And I will also put it on the video description when I upload to YouTube. So that's great. Thank you very much.
Cool.
All right, now in the meantime here, let's go back to what Clockwocket is doing. So we may need to make a list, right?
I do have a list.
You do have a list. Okay.
Yes.
So you've had ideas about things that have appealed to you that you think would help with your purposes, right? Now, one of the things you can do with tyranny of choice, right, and to narrow it down, one thing that I did was, okay, I started doing things like I started going through, these, 200 Bujo ideas videos from Joshi Koren, for example, or, other people, right? And I would, make notes about the things that I thought looked appealing to me. And then I would make a note of the timestamp so that I could come back and get the details on how to do that later, right? So I get it, but you've already done that to some degree, you were telling me last night.
I've
So,
been watching them. I had a couple that stood out to me, but I didn't know timestamps, which was silly.
Yeah, no, that's really clever. That's a good idea.
It really is. Um,
well, at this point, I may be able to help you come back to the things that you highlighted. So, what are some of the things that appealed to you? What are ideas that you thought were good ones?
one of the ones I liked was the month. They did it monthly, but I might do it weekly productivity tracker where you keep track of not just what tasks you do, but what category they're in, and you color in like a little block of how you spent your time when you, like for our amount of time, and you see how much time you spent actually doing stuff and in what categories. And that includes like leisure time, like reading, or
Ah,
we
yeah.
call it that.
Okay, so basically, and these take different formats, but I'll show my journal camera now, and I'll back this up, and I'll smallify that. Right, in my journal, right, it's that might look something like, maybe what you've got looks different, but I've got that kind of thing in here with my sleep, hourly sleep tracker. I wanted to figure out, how long am I actually sleeping for and when. This is something that I wasn't tracking. I was mostly just tracking the length of time I was sleeping, but now I'm, tracking the blocks, right? And for on the screen here, the blue is for, like, quote unquote actual sleep, like that's what time I went to bed and intended to sleep, right? And the purple are naps, right? So as you can see, I slept a hell of a long time yesterday. But yeah, the previous days will show you why, because my sleep was a shit show. Hey, Valrith. Right. Also, this is the mood tracker that I was talking about that I did this month, right? Because I felt like being a bit more, like, branching out from my comfort zone to keep my brain interested, right? Previously, they have all been wheels. I got my other journal here so I can show you my last wheel, right? And they're all variations on the wheel theme. So I basically have been drawing out what that printable was that you showed there, Faye, but and I've been putting like an art piece in the middle that's in the theme of whatever it is that I'm doing. My February theme was Kintsugi, and you can see my sleep tracker there too. Right, so yeah, okay, so you want to do like a productivity tracker that's kind of like this with the bars of time or pixels of time.
I put a little, I do different colors for like writing related, um,
Ah,
study related, like because I'm trying to teach myself Latin and I'm refreshing my coding knowledge. Um, reading, exercise, housework, like how did I spend my time kind of thing.
gotcha.
But like have broadcast spent time with Siobhan to keep myself happy and sane.
Always important, spending time with your partner. Yeah. I put that on
Um,
my on my list of did I do that today too? Yeah.
did I tell her I loved her? Because
Ah.
even though I usually do it enough, I want to make sure I never forget.
That's a cool thing. That's a
I
cool
actually
thing.
got this out because we were talking about mood. This is one of the stencils I got. Let me turn it around because I can see on the camera. It's
Clockwocket has some epic stencils, and guys, I don't have a lot of stencils, so this will give you an opportunity to have a look at what kind of things are out there. Apparently, he got this pack of stencils on Amazon for like $8.
What?
That is cool.
And I'm thinking I want to use this one because what I want to do is do a morning, afternoon, and morning, noon, evening kind of thing,
Right.
and, and check in because I found that actually helps me know when, like, am I waking up crabby every morning? There might be a problem with my sleep. If I'm
If you're
really
bitchy by the
miserable,
evening, have you eaten today? Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. I think that's a great idea, and I see no reason why, if that's the way you're thinking, you shouldn't use your stencil there. Just boom, right? Just flat out as it is, and you know, lay
Yeah.
it out for that. Okay, so you got two things. Do you have a thought about the layout? What kind of spread you want to use? Like how you're going to lay it out for time, your time block tracker?
Um, I think it's gonna have to be a two bait. If if I do it, I think I'm gonna have to do it up and down, and I think I'll do one page will be the actual tracker, and I'll just have the 24 hours,
Uh huh.
and I'll include sleep on there, so it'll combo as
Right.
a
So basically, you're thinking this page, right, that I've got here with my sleep tracker, right? Because this is the dates and these are the hours in the day, right? And
yeah,
except that all of this will be filled with different colors, either in pixels or
right.
bars, right? Okay, yep,
And
that. And then
I
the key
might
would go over here.
on the next page.
That makes sense. And that will
I was
likely
also
also give you some room for decoration there because the key won't take up the whole page. So,
right. I was also thinking instead of just colors, I liked one of the things Joshi Corin does that I really like is the little icons
yes, yeah, that's a good idea.
for like the categories. Like I might have more specific colors, but have like icons that, or have colors that are very general, but icons that are specific to um like one of the things I want to start doing is meditating on a regular basis,
Right.
but that would come under mental health and self-care as a color, but it might have its own icon.
Sure, I get what you're saying here. So you're I sort of did this kind of thing here, right? This is my productivity tracker, and at the bottom of it, I have categories, right? Exercise is a little running dude, self care is a star, social is a speech bubble, work is a quill, domestic, usually meaning cleaning the house, is a house icon, right? And A for adulting, toothbrush for hygiene, and a heart for relationships, right? That kind of idea, right? Is what you're thinking. And
Yeah,
also, okay, and also, what did I do here? I did somewhere here I have a meditation tracker, which is, woefully empty. But I made a little lotus flower for when I do the meditation. I've done it once this month. See, this goes to show I'm showing you that because just because I'm tracking it doesn't mean I'm doing it perfectly. And if I'm not doing it perfectly, there's a reason why. The reason why I've been sick, not sleeping well, and busy. So that's why. But you know, yeah. So anyway, yeah. So okay, I get that. I get that. Right? Okay, so you got plans for two things. I think those sound like very good plans. Uh,
I have a couple of things that are I'm gonna put it at the front of the journal because I
okay,
want them to be more than one cycle.
right?
One, I have another lovely stencil that I'm gonna get that I want to show people because this is like the kind of thing that you really would be hard to draw on your own. This you could theoretically do. This I could never be able to, I would never be able to draw on my own.
Books to read. Yeah. Can you flip it around so that we can see it right
Oh,
side
I
up
like
here?
that one.
That's gorgeous, right?
Oh, that would go really good in what I'm working on. Where'd you get that one?
Same kit, Amazon. I forget
Hmm.
which company. I might be able to find it on my Amazon order list. I'll have to look, and if so, I can put it in the bullet journal channel
Perfect.
That would be
afterward.
If
wonderful,
you
please.
wouldn't mind doing that, then I can also put the link in the video description when I upload. Because honestly, I'm probably going to buy this set. Right? This is pretty cool. I probably would have used that stencil instead of done the big picture that I did if I'd had it. So maybe it's just as well I didn't at the time. I can definitely see the usefulness of that. And the cool thing, okay, so just to be clear, right, these stencils are all designed for an A5 size journal, right? Which is the one that tends to be the most popular in the community and the size of the one I have. So it will fit my journal
Oh,
as well as his journal, right?
what about
So
mine?
I don't, your journal is also an A5. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it'll fit perfectly. That is the size of one of your pages.
Okay, cool.
But
Hey,
I
Leah, good to
have,
see you.
hello. I also have some stickers these stickers inspired me. I want to start keeping track of like, um, this is like a cassette tape, and I want to start keeping track of like if there's music I'm listening to a lot. Like, you know how the song just comes up and you start wanting to listen to it once or twice a day sometimes.
Right. Yeah, keeping track of a playlist is something that's fairly commonly done by journalers. I think Josh E. Corin has a layout for or a spread for it somewhere. I don't remember where, but you know what? I can probably poke the community and they'll tell me. And I tried that for 1 month and it just didn't work for me. I guess I don't change my music frequently enough for that anymore, but I mean, it's
I
a good
was just
idea.
planning I was just planning to make a list of like, this is the song I am listening to. These are songs. This song is one I haven't really heard in a while. I was listening to it. I really like this version of it. Like, list the title, the artist, and if it's a cover, who the original artist was.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Just so that, like, in 5, 10 years, I can go back and say, hey, oh yeah, I remember liking that song.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's a really cool idea too.
This one is I'm going to use
What
for
films you watching?
TV shows and movies.
Cool.
This one I'm going to keep just these are just lists I want to keep at the beginning. I'm not going to do anything too fancy, but it says escapade, and I want to keep um a list of like adventures I go on. Like if I go to a nature park or something and take a hike all day and I see a deer, I want to have a place to record that I went out of my comfort zone and did something exciting.
That's awesome. Those are all really awesome ideas.
And this last one is a stamp, and you can't read it from a distance, but it says Arts and Crafts Exposition Society.
Right?
And I want to use that as part of the decoration on a list of just arts, like crochet and knitting projects that I've done.
That's cool. That's cool, actually. I know lots of crafters, right? Do the kind of things that we do with writing in terms of trackers. They do things like, how long have they worked on a project? How long before they estimate that it's going to be finished? Keeping track of things like, okay, so I'm making this for so and so's birthday, so when does it have to be finished so that they receive it? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hello, Rue. Good to see you. Yes, it is a Clockwocket and a Fae. Clockwocket has volunteered for tribute today. Well, I asked and he said sure. and I appreciate it, right? Because he's just starting his bullet journal, and we are talking about starting your bullet journal when you never have, or when you did before and you didn't stick with it, or whatever. So, yeah, that's what we're working on. So, we're helping Clockwocket to come up with, like, or to clarify his ideas, because he's got ideas. We're helping him to clarify his ideas and figuring out how to make them work in his journal. All
What
right.
I have in there that I actually already have started, although I have to update it, is it's the doctor changed my medicine at the appointment right before I came up. I'm going to cover the exact medicines, but I have like a medication list
Right? Yep,
right
that's
and
cool.
on the first page. 'Cause how often do you go into the doctor's and they want a list of what medicines are you taking, what dose?
Uh huh. And you're like, here, I can't even spell it, but you can read it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because I take the generic ones. I'm not, my insurance doesn't cover the name brands unless that's all there is, and then I have a ridiculous copay.
Right. And in Canada, we often do generic brands because it's, less expensive for our healthcare system, right? Like what I am taking is escitalopram for my psych med, right? But it is apparently commonly known as Lexapro. So,
Hmm.
Yep.
yeah.
I knew which one it was when you said it because I took it and I took the generic version. That's not the one I'm using right now, but
Ooh,
it uh, it does work.
Faye says, I thought I was just hanging out today. Turns out I've opened the washi tape. Yeah. Yeah, co
It
working.
happened. I've had this washi tape for years though. It's
Yeah.
unsealed now.
Yeah, escitalopram, especially at the dose that I'm on, is apparently baby's first SSRI. So it's like, they're like, oh, you're taking such a low dose and it's such a mild thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I can't take any other medication with it almost. It's like taking blood thinners. You got to be careful about everything you take. But yeah, okay, baby's first SSRI. All right. Yeah. Anyhow, all right. So yes, you've got. Are these the ideas or that you've got clearly, or are there more? You don't have to have all the things all at once. That's the other thing, right? You can start with just a couple of basic things you need, and you can add shit later. That's the cool thing about this being so flexible.
Yep. I got a lot of things that I want to track, but one of the things I really, two of the things that I'm not sure how to get in there is I want to do more reflection, more internal searching and writing journal, like the thought, like that prompt type type
Right.
journaling entries, but I don't know how to structure that. And I also want to have er- regular plot bunny places
Cool.
because I'm always thinking of little bits of things that would be cool to have in a story or big plot bunnies for a whole story that I really don't want to write right now,
That makes sense.
but doesn't exist and should, so I will eventually have to write it.
I understand completely. Okay. All right. Are there other writing trackers that you want to do?
Yes, I want to track time I spend writing as well as words written because sometimes you sit there staring at the screen rearranging things and you don't get any new words, but you get a lot of progress.
Right. Yes, absolutely. That is absolutely a thing. Okay. So, now let's see. Let me what was I? Okay, so you're like talking about word trackers, number of words, right? I'm doing that. So an idea, and you don't have to do it my way, but I got this idea from Sunny, who got it from Duo Chan fan, who was on our stream showing off her journal, right? This is a green dot or a green grid pattern, right? I have four different categories that I like to keep track of in terms of my creative work, right? And I keep track of this by the Game of Tomes rules. Basically, under those rules, every one of these squares represents 100 words or equivalent, right? So it also represents, amount of time spent in a way, right? Now, you obviously want to track these separately, right, in terms of amount of time versus amount of words, but this might be a way to track amount of words, right, is something like this. Or if you don't think you're going to get that many words, right, and I don't unless it's a got month, like this tends to be pretty, limited, but you could use the grid pattern itself of the bullet journal to make a grid, right? And then each one of those 5 millimeter squares could be, you know, 50 words, 100 words, like you decide whatever you would need. And then you could draw like columns up here, right? Which you then like shade off with a marker or put a checkbox in or something each day, right? So if you didn't have a clear idea of how you wanted to do that, that might be a way to do it. I don't know if other people have other suggestions. Some people like to do graphs, right? You could do a graph system by which you had like numbers written along the side for word totals. And then this page would be draw a dot across from, say you did like 500 words, right? And that's the 500 word mark. So you draw 500 words. And then the next day you did like 1,200 words. So then draw the graph, right? I'm sure you know all about graphs. You were going
Yeah,
for your PhD in math, so you probably know more about graphs than me.
yeah. I did get my master's. They didn't accept me into the PhD program, unfortunately.
Boo.
Oh,
Well, I didn't know that they don't like you to go to the same school that you went to get your master's and your bachelor's at
um,
for your PhD.
Ah,
oh yeah.
I didn't think about that. And the only school that I wouldn't have had to move away from my,
might cut out there.
Yeah.
move like 600 miles away so I couldn't come home if there was an emergency. And my parents are elderly,
Right.
so I didn't
Yeah, valid.
And I'm guessing
want to
that's
do
something you
that.
can do online. I don't know if you can.
This was 20 years ago.
Uh, yeah.
A lot less online programs. They were just starting to have online programs at my college.
Right.
Gotcha.
I'm old.
Shut up. No, you're not. Anyway, says the woman who
Actually,
just turned
25
50.
years ago, almost. Almost 25 years ago, actually.
Okay, so we have.
Um,
Let me
I
make some
probably,
notes. Oh yeah, go ahead
I,
and answer a Torah. Yeah.
I think I would have to restudy. I think if I went back now, I'd do computer science instead of math because I really have fallen in love with coding and that. Um, and it's a lot more employable. There's a lot more jobs that aren't teaching, which I've discovered. I don't like being the authority figure in the classroom. I don't mind teaching people, like even in groups of 4 or 5, but anything more than that, I feel like an authority figure and I don't like it.
All right, so basically what I'm doing here is for I don't know if it helps you, but it helps me to kind of put things into categories, right? Based on what your saying that you want in your journal, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, mental health, I've got one category. Media consumed is another category, right? I would make productivity another category. Some of these things are going to overlap, right? And I don't know, would writing be a separate category, do you think? Because you want to
Yes.
do a lot of very
Yeah.
specific things about writing.
Yes, I put writing as a separate category because I have a lot of different writing projects. So eventually I'm going to keep track of like how much time do I spend on betwixt and between? How much time do I spend on the blog that I'm not posting yet, but I'm writing up entries to edit and figure out if I want to post them.
Right.
Um, so eventually I want to start tracking each project, but not yet. I'm going to start simpler than that.
Right. Okay.
Another one I'd like to keep track of that I haven't mentioned in terms of categories of time spent.
Uh huh.
Um, I am I am a gamer. I like to play role-playing games, and I want to eventually run a game for some friends of mine, and I want to try event not I'm not getting started with this now, but like a couple months down the line, I'm going to want to start keeping track of how much time I'm spending on that. Am I making progress? Have I done what I need to run the game that week kind of thing?
DMing
I
progress. Ideas,
yeah,
maybe a place for that too.
yeah,
Okay, you also wanted plot bunnies for the writing.
writing.
Okay.
I'm
Uh,
still trying to find where Nat got those little cats from. Mm. Like that
Okay, I'm going to
Nat.
catch up on the chat a bit. And hey, Rowan, good to see you. Hello. Um,
Hello, Rowan.
Rue happily got the family to actually eat all their food. That's good. They're picky, so that's awesome. Faye's trying out her new dot grid journal. Yep, I agree with Rue. You'll do fantastic. You're much better at things than you give yourself credit for, and as long as it makes you feel better, it's doing the job anyway. Exactly. Also, we're old. Duh. Aaron says, I'm old. I have more years than hairs on the top of my head. Maybe. And the story that Rue wrote with the 31 prompts went in a weird direction, posted in the adoptable plot thread, and Faye is struggling to write again. Need April. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so back to where we're at here. I feel like I'm missing something that you've told me, right? So we have mental health, meds tracker, habit tracker, adventure log. You've already got medication list, right? Media consumed, music, films, and TV and books. I feel like
Yes.
the thing I'm missing stuff is productivity, so I'll do that last. Writing, time spent, words achieved. Eventually you want a project tracker, but not right now, and plot bunnies. And then RPGs, you want DMing progress and ideas. Now, productivity, I've just got time log. Was there something else there? Like the time log being the here's the daily hours and shading it in with different colors and a key, which I thought was a brilliant use.
There's something that I haven't said, but you're right. There is something I was thinking I should probably keep track of is the amount of social contact, and I have no idea how to track that. Because when I'm getting depressed, I tend to
Mm.
get isolationist, but and and I believe it or not, I'm not completely an introvert. I actually do better when I talking to people and engaging with people energizes me. I can just only tolerate so much of it at a given time. if that makes sense.
Yes,
And it
absolutely. Overstim. I get it.
and it makes me anxious ahead of time. But I still need to do it. So it's probably something I should keep track of, that I'm at least aware that, okay, I haven't gone out and talked to people for a week. That could be why I'm feeling depressed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and as Rowan says, one can be an introvert and an extrovert and need time doing both. Yeah, that's fair too. I get it. Okay, so I have a couple of thoughts there, right? One is that okay, Joshi Corin does this thing where she has a contact log, right? I don't know if this is what you're after, but I'm going to mention it anyway, right? Because she forgets, she has ADHD. She forgets how long it's been since she's talked to somebody, right? So she keeps track of who she talked to, when she talked to them, what form that contact took. Like, was it a Discord message? Was it like a phone call? Right? And that helps her to kind of keep a record and dates, right? So she keeps a record of, oh, geez, I haven't talked to my brother in a month. I better give him a call, stuff like that, right? So that's one thing that you could do. I sort of do this on a mild level, but not like this is the less extreme here. I have this social category for my productivity tracker because when I started tracking productivity, this is kind of a general productivity level, and this is where I started, right? And it's basically not at all red light, yellow light, green light, or super, or super, right? But then I wanted to know, well, how am I being productive? Like, what do I mean by that, right? So then I broke it down into these categories, right? And a lot of them are mental health related, right? And the social category, right? I'm currently rating it on kind of a 1 to 4 scale. How social was I that day? And that's what these different icons mean. Like the heart is I was really social, and if I get a spade, it was like I was antisocial, right? The club is not very social, and the diamond is passively social, right? So and that's what I'm doing there as kind of a way to track that, but I'm not tracking specifically who I'm social with or for how long in this model, right? It's more like, do I feel like the quality of contact was good? And it's kind of a general vibe thing, right? So that's where I'm at. Or you could keep track of it in terms of like, again, part of the like you would already be making it part of your time log, I'm sure, right? Because you'd be like, 2 hours hung out with Siobhan, right? Hour and a half chatted with Sable, whatever, right? Like you'd be that would be you could make a color category or an icon for social, you know.
Yeah.
And I differentiate between social and relationships because it's easy for me to spend time hanging out with Jamie and Aaron, right? It's not as easy for me to go hang out in the Moon Crew chat and hang out with the buddies there, right? That's a separate thing, right? So I keep track of it separately so that I'm aware. And also things like I tend to get really involved in the Moon Crew chat and stuff like that and got chats when I'm doing a Game of Tomes month, but I neglect paying attention to people at home, right? And this is my way of combating that, right? So, bunch of ideas. What appeals to you there among the things I mentioned, if anything?
I like the contact. One, I like separating relationship and social, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Um, Two, I like having a the Joshi Corin one. I saw that and thought, oh, that's a good idea, and then promptly forgot it. But I actually
Gotcha.
really, really like it. Because I often do realize when it's too long, when it's been long enough that it's very awkward to contact them now that I haven't contacted that friend I made, you know, or so on and so forth. Or it's, wow, I haven't heard from so and so in 2 months. Are they okay?
Right. Exactly. I'm actually should be setting up a contact log myself, right?
Anyway, catch you later.
You off?
Hi, yo. No,
Oh,
no,
hey,
no.
Flub, how doing?
I'm uh, in time. I'm not bullet journaling tonight because I am in a hotel. I would like to introduce you to my friend Mort. He's my
Oh my god! That's so adorable!
Skelly in a onesie.
That's amazing!
With a little heart
Adorable.
nose.
That is so cute.
My bathroom is being done,
Sweet?
so I am now ensconced in a Premier Inn in Aberdeen. Hello. So he's my little friend.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to pop in to say hi, ask how you were doing.
I'm good. How are you?
Check you've been hydrating and doing your thing, and
Yes, I need more hydrate here in a minute, but I have been. And I
how have
took
you
my
been?
pills, yes.
When did you start streaming, my dear?
Noon?
7 o'clock. We
I
were
guess.
We weren't expecting you to start streaming at 8. At 8.
You know what? That explains it. It is now daylight savings time here in Canada. So
Ah,
I guess I'm an hour ahead,
right.
which explains quite a lot, actually. I was wondering why it was quiet today. Now I know. I'm not seeing the UK people. They expected me to start an hour from now. But they expect me to start now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you know why we weren't here.
I guess I do.
Oh.
That makes sense. Skelly is adorable.
Well, his name's Mort.
Mort is
because
adorable.
of, Mort. Well, death in this world is just called Death. But there's another character who takes over from him because Death wants a holiday.
Oh, right.
And his name is Mort.
That's
Which is
right.
another name for Death.
Yes.
So this fella is Mort. And if you actually look at his skelly chops, they're actually smiling.
I see that, actually.
Yeah, so he's and his little nose
Heart
is
nose.
a heart.
Heart nose.
He has a heart.
That's the
He's
best.
not a nasty, so he's a lovely skell. So I thought I'd come in and say hi.
That's adorable, Flub. Thank you for showing him to us.
And just to say, we know in the UK who Mark Carney is, because Mark Carney, our new president, for a year or two, used to be the head of the Bank of England.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he was. And Ireland.
Yep.
Huh, I did not know that. That's cool.
I popped in here so I could avoid commercials.
Yep. That's where that's how we know the name. And
Fair enough.
if I remember rightly, he's a no-nonsense kind of guy.
Yeah, actually, he is. I do know that he was largely responsible for the Canadian banks not crashing in 2008 like the American banks did, right? Yeah. He's the one who personally was responsible for that. So, cool.
Well, good luck to you all.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that.
I feel sorry for him.
Yes.
I feel sorry for him because he's inherited one hell of a mess. But I also will say kudos to Trudeau for not buggering off and leaving someone else to deal with it.
Yeah. I've got nothing but good things to say about Trudeau. I don't necessarily agree with all of the politics that he, and the decisions that he chose to make in the course of his tenure, but he was there.
Let's be honest, he had a dodgy tenure. But at least, unlike one of our prime ministers, who buggered off because something didn't go his way, right? He stayed and he socked it.
Yes,
to a
he
certain
did.
personage.
Mr. Trudeau was at the helm during the COVID crisis. He, I would like to personally thank him for my well-being and the well-being of my family during that time. We could have collapsed financially. Instead, we bought a house, right? Because he held the country together, right? Personally, I am personally grateful for the decisions that he has made, right? The man has done a great job. History will remember him kindly, I think.
And his swan song was a good one.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. Though I gotta bring this back to bullet journaling today.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to BG off till Rue's game, so I just wanted to pop in and say hi.
Thank you so much, Flub, and I love Mort. He's adorable.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye, bye, Flub.
It's always good to see friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're gonna make the picture big again. We
All
will
right, I'm going
begin.
to. Not that I care.
All right.
I can even tell you what all these medicines I take are for.
That's cool.
GERD, blood pressure, allergies, mood stabilizer, antidepressant, ADHD, hormone replacement therapy.
Awesome. All right, quickly catching up on the chat so we can move past here. First of all, we have all the hail hydrates and the med checks and the posture checks. So, hail hydrate, or as they say, the Joshy Corin community, tink. I assume that's like the cheers sound, actually, but yeah. Hey there, James. Good to see you. Yeah, it's daylight savings time, so I guess we start at 7 in the UK today. Thank you for cleaning up the redeem queue, Rowan. Rue would join, but kids are still up, so it can get loud. Yeah, fair enough. Rowan, I gotta ask, why is Mr. Trudeau young Mr. Trudeau? The man is 40. Like, I'm confused, and you always say that. Is it to differentiate him from Pierre, his father? Right? I mean, if that's why, that's fair. But like, the man's 40. He's not young. You know, right? Young Mr. Trudeau is one of the few Canadian PMs that did not bend over and grab his ankles when the Americans said, take it, correct. So he gets 2 thumbs up from me, and I hate all politicians. Exactly. Gotta wonder if they'll actually make it out of the city this week. Oh, haha, cool. Hello, Fox. Fox races through the chat, bounces off walls and people alike, and scatters glitter over, under, and around every surface available. Awesome, yes. Rowan holds out highly caffeinated beverage for Fox and some stickers. Awesome. Rue says, hi, Siobhan trips the Fox to make sure they're covered in glitter as well. As if I wasn't already covered in glitter, says Fox. Oh, because of his father? Yeah, it is? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, young Mr. Trudeau as opposed to old Mr. Trudeau. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, no, yeah. I got nothing but good things to say about the man personally. You know, I don't agree with every decision he made, but I think he overall did a fantastic job. And above all, you know, quiet strength the whole time. Quiet strength. Perfect. Sable, I'd be very proud of you. Put stickers all over Rowan. Glance Rowan for stickers and coffee, says Fox. Okay, why would I be proud of you? I mean, I am proud of you anyway, but why specifically? Not only am I plotting, but I'm researching how to plot, and I'm even taking notes. Say what? Right? Okay. I have to share. I'm also doing that. I'm actually plotting myself. There it is. James lurks. Hello, Faye's in the chat. Okay. It's all chest puffed and smug. Congratulations. Good job. Way to adult right. I know, right? Fox is in shock and awe, right? Right? But I had to. I'm kind of in my winds of winter. I have to plot. Okay, let's get back to Clockwocket's journal plans here. All right, so contact log. You're thinking contact log like Josh Yakora does is a good idea. I'm also thinking that I will probably add this, not this month, but next month. I think I need more detailed plans too. And that's a cool thing is that you can always like reassess. Josh Yakoran has a great system for if you've done journaling before and, you know, how to think about it, what you might need to change, right? So it's called her want analysis, right? And we may go through it sometime, right? Or I may just recommend you to her videos, right? But it basically is wins, right? Things that you thought worked really well, aversions, things that you didn't think worked really well, you don't like, right? Needs, things that you should have but don't, and to try, things you want to experiment with. Right, so, and, you know, she says divide the page into 4 and work from there. And honestly, I think it's a great system for if you've done this before, because then you know what you like, what you don't like. You've had some basis of comparison, right? But starting from 0, I figured we needed to be a bit more detailed, right? I figured that wasn't covered. So this is what I'm doing today. Okay.
I'm looking at what you've gotten written, and I think
You think this is good for now? Or
I know I'm echoing. No, it's not. I don't know if we wrote down crochet, like crochet and knitting.
oh, crochet. No, we don't have that as a category. Crafting, crochet. Yeah, crafting.
Crafting.
I knew I was forgetting
Yeah.
something. Okay, so crochet project log kind of thing.
Crochet and knitting, yeah. I put them in the same category.
Fair enough. Also something that's very commonly done in journaling communities is people track their projects. Okay. All right. So, my suggestion is when you start working on these things, right? Start with, like, group things together, right? This is one of the reasons why I was thinking about categories. This is, but you don't have to use my categories, right? Use categories that make sense to you, right? And try to group things together so that they're easier to find, right? I find that works best for, like, you know, making, like, all my trackers are together, right? As much as possible. That's what these waterfall tabs are for, is to set up my trackers. And I know right away it's my trackers because I feel the waterfall tabs and then I can open up there. And I've got I even moved trackers that weren't normally there. Like, this is sort of a tracker, daily gratitude, daily wins, right? And I included it in the trackers section so that I could find it easily, right? So that's one thing, right? So, okay, so I gotta get another paper here. I know I have more note paper handy. Where did I put the post-it notes? I have lots of post-its. I just don't know where I put the post-it notes. Because there's shit on the other side of that. So, you'd think that I would have the post-it notes handy, especially because I use them in the journal. Can I currently find them? No. All right. Okay, this is a scrap paper. I can use that. All right. So then. Okay, so one, group ideas into categories that make sense to you. Try to put them together. Oh, wait, yeah, there was another idea you had in the mental health list, which was reflection journaling. We want to put that in there too, because that will need space in the journal for that as well, right? And then second, prioritize. Which category is most important? Which one will you have to look at the most?
I apologize. I need to take a bio break.
No worries.
Give me just a moment.
No worries. As a matter of fact, I will do the same. I will be right back. We will put the be right back screen on, and I'll see you in a minute.
Shivani, can you mute?
All right, I will catch up with the chat in the meantime here. Rue said, nice one, Fox. I wish I could plot, but it just doesn't work for me. Yeah, I get that. I'm the same way, Rue. I'm kind of a discovery writer. I kind of have a roadmap, but that's the best you get out of me. Right? So this weird flexible plotting thing that I'm doing based on characters and their motivations and on forces of like political and military forces in the universe is very new to me. So, but I think it's just that I gotta lay it all out where I can see it. Fox says people kept recommending this book called Saves the Cat novel writing or something like that, and it's like actually amazing. Cool. Right? Say, I love your comment, you know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Save the Cat is a good method, says Rue. Oh, I've heard of Save the Cat, says Siobhan. Everybody says hi to each other. Rue says, Gods, now I must put on Linkin Park. Yep. You're welcome, says Faye. Fox says, so far in chapter 1, we're talking about our main protagonist and what they want, why they can't have it, and the lessons they are meant to learn. It's really neat. Yeah, fair enough. Welcome back. All right, I was just catching up on the chat while I was waiting while you were gone.
Figured out why I was echoing.
Oh, okay. Your speakers were on?
No, Siobhan's mic was picking up my voice from the other room.
Ah, that'd do it.
Which is why I kind of went and was like, can you mute?
Right.
So I could explain what the issue was.
Fox has a beginning, middle, and end for the April focused novel, so it's going to try this 15-beat method for it and see how it goes. Great.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. And see you later, Angel Faye. Thanks for joining us. Have a good sleep. I hate it when electronic platforms go, we're upgrading for the sake of upgrading, and now we're making you guys do this thing, and it's no different. It's no better than it was before, but it's different, and it's confusing, and it's going to make you learn it all again just to be fucking irritating because some executive thought, I have to pretend I'm doing something or I'm not earning my pay. So we're going to pretend this is a whole new user-friendly upgrade system, and yeah, anyway. It's upgrading to the AI bullshit too. We don't want it. We doesn't want it. Stop trying to throw AI down our throats. We don't want it. We're not interested. People are going to leave the internet entirely if you keep this shit up. I'm telling you. The spam filter was already useless. Yes, it was. Okay. So I don't use, I used Yahoo Mail for a while. I don't anymore. There's a reason why. That's why. Anyway. All right. Back to work. Group ideas into categories that make sense to you and try to put them together. Like put them all in one place if you can. Right? Prioritize. Which category is most important? Which one will you have to look at or reference the most? Right? And put the ones closer to the beginning of the section that you think you're going to use more. Right? Now, this is just a general guideline at this point because you haven't started yet. You don't know how much room any of this shit is going to actually take up. Right? So you have to guess. But you've got some good ideas for guesses. Right? Because you were describing things like your time log tracker. Right? And your time log, you know you're going to need 1 page for all the time logging and 1 page for the key, right? Plus you probably will have room for decoration there too, right? But maybe not. Maybe you won't. But if you do, great, right? I tend to do things like, let me show you. I did this last night. I borrowed one of your stencils there, Clockwocket, right? And I modified it a little bit to make this 3-hour project tracker. And how this is going to work is my intention is every day I'm going to do 1 hour of my writing work, 1 hour of Game of Tones work, and 1 hour of some other creative thing, right? And, preferably, if I end up on a roll, I can do more than that, but that's my option, right? So, and I intend to do it with a color code, which I've got here, and go around in the circle. Now, the reason why the spiral rather, the reason why this tracker won't work any other month is because I'm starting this month late. I'm starting it on the 10th, right? Because I haven't done it yet this month. So other months, I'm going to need all 30 days. But, 30 days because I'm doing 30 days cyclical planning, right? But this will work for now, and maybe I can modify something like this and do a version of it later. But I knew this wasn't going to take up the whole page, right? It only takes up about maybe 2/3 of the page. So then I had room for fancy stickers, decorations, and one of my favorite quotes from Alice in Wonderland. So you can leave room for that, right? You know how much room that's going to take up, right? Once you have an idea for the form, you're going to use that mood tracker, right? So you know that that's going to take up a page, right? So you can plan for that, right? Other things you're going to have to guess, and maybe you'll need to expand. So what I do now at this stage, you okay?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. So at this stage, what I do is get a bunch of Post-it notes. Do you have Post-it notes?
No, I do not.
Okay, I have Post-it
Well,
notes.
I
here somewhere.
do, but they are in New York, not BC.
Right. So you don't have Post-it notes. So let me find my Post-it notes. I have a bag of them somewhere. I just gotta find where they are in this bag of bags. There we go. I have found the Post-it notes. Siobhan, if you would be a dear, please come upstairs and come in here and grab this pack of Post-it notes, which you can have. And then we will start laying out the plan. There you go. Thank you. So I'll show you what I mean by the Post-it notes here and what I've been doing with them. See, these are the Post-it notes that I've already used in the weekly or in the layout that I've done. And what I do is I estimate, like say my weekly planner, right? For example, my weekly planner is this thing, right? Which is my appointment calendar, basically, right? I don't have a lot of appointments, and I don't like to plan it but it also includes things I want to get done in the day, right? I don't need a lot of space, right? And I don't need an hourly, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. log, because that would never work for me anyway. But what I do is I use the bullet journaling method, and I put notes of things in here that I have to remember. Like if it's got a triangle, it means it's an appointment that I have to make at a particular time. As you can see, I have my Bujo stream, 12 p.m., right? Then I have the things I want to get done in the day. If they're just things I want to get done in the day with bullet points, then I have schedule the time-lapse video that I made when it'll post. That's a scheduling thing if it goes that way. If the points goes the other way, it means I've moved this to another day. I didn't get it done, so I'm moving it to another day, right? There's a whole system of bullet points for bullet journaling method. You can look that up if you want to use it. It's very effective. It's where all of this started, is this basic method. So, you can do that if you want to do it. But you don't have to do it that way. But I knew I would need 2 pages, right, is my point. So, like 2 full spreads. So for me, I've got a code so I can, use less Post-it notes. When I put an arrow on it, I put it on this page, and that means that I'm also using the next page with that purpose, right? Then I've got things like, I've still got some of my Post-it notes here, which you will see where I haven't done the thing that I wanted to do yet. Here, for example, March hair title page. I wanted the full spread for it, right? This is going to be my extra credit. This is going to be my month at a glance, right? You get the idea, right? You write this stuff on Post-it notes. At least that's what I do.
Oh, I saw this pencil and I remembered something I wanted to track, weather. Because with
Weather.
my weather and migraines, when I
Right.
actually, like when I have to take my migraine medicine, when I have a headache, degree of uh intensity, because I have migraines that I can function through, and then I have ones where it's, forgive my language, but at that,
Right?
I'm gonna go lay in a dark room till this goes away.
I think you also said something to me earlier about energy levels. Is
Yes.
something you wanted to track. So, okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to call this category health rather than mental health. And we're going to put weather, migraines, and energy levels in there too. At least that's what I'm doing for my sake. You can track them in different categories if you want. But thank you for reminding me. I knew there were things we were forgetting. Okay, but you get my idea here with the Post-it notes, right? You think about, okay, how much
Yes.
space do I think this is going to take up? Put those on the pages to indicate what you want to put there, right? And you can move them around, right? That's the other thing, right? Because you can change your mind. I did that last night, right? I decided that instead of doing, I moved my self-care bingo, which I haven't done yet, to behind some of these. Like I'm gonna make a tracker for the love event quests for the words that I'm still working on, and put it here. And then I wanted it next to my writing notes, which is things I still need to add to the writing, like things like do this edit, which I haven't done yet. How far have I gotten on 50K team up? Where am I at? Put that there. This kind of stuff, right, goes on this page, and I wanted them together. So then I originally had my self-care bingo here, but I took the Post-it note and I moved it so that it is now after my journaling. I had to move it after because I'd already done all of that, right? So I put it there next to my cleaning track, right? So yeah, right? That's the next part. This will probably take you a while to do. So when we are at what is technically quitting time, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to end the stream, and we'll call this part 1. And don't stop working on things in the course of the week, right? We can always do like an extra stream later in the week, or we can always revisit this next Monday, right? But plan out your journal with your Post-it notes, and then start putting stuff in it, right? And see how it goes. I will bring down this note paper for you to copy and work with if you want. And
Please.
yeah, you bet. And then we'll revisit this in the next stream to see where you're at and how it's going. But that's basically what you need to get started, guys. And then the key is to just jump in and do it. Which I know, right? The anxiety. You're like, well, what if I fuck it up and it's this beautiful journal? You know what? Cut the page out, start over, right? Glue the page to the other page, start over, right? If it really pisses you off, throw the whole goddamn thing out, start over. Or, cover it over with a picture or something, right? Or a quote page, right? Like, this is an experiment. It's meant to be an experiment. You are going to fuck it up. I am still fucking it up, as you can see, right? I meant to have all my trackers together. These trackers are over here. Why? Because I had changed my mind about what I needed at the time that I needed it, and now it's got to go after all my daily journaling spaces because I left that. So yeah. Journals don't have to be perfect. Exactly. Well, thank you everybody for being here. Thank you for volunteering as tribute. I appreciate it. I hope I
What you're
have been
keeping
helpful.
track- I'm sorry. I was just going to say sometimes what you're keeping track of with the journal is where things aren't perfect.
Yes, exactly. As you can see with my meditation tracker, which I have done once this month. Right? Why? Well, you know what? We need to be more focused on that, and I need to figure out this is part of what I need to do. Why is it not working? I need to figure out why it's not working and then fix it, right? And that is part of what we're doing here. So, am I joining you in an hour? I don't have my character made yet, but probably. All right, guys. That's it for today. I will be back tomorrow at roughly... Why did that not work? Wait a minute. Music died. Why did music die? Okay. I will be back tomorrow at roughly noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. in the UK, I guess currently. And, I guess that would be 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. I'm seeing who's up. Shall we raid Travis or Angel in Darkness? Or we could raid Oracle of Dusk, too.
Haven't been to Travis in a while, so...
Alright, let's go raid Travis. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you very much to Clockwocket for joining me as tribute, and thank you to Siobhan, the writer, and Darken Faye for joining me on stream. See you
And
later
plug
on.
for her...
Oh, and Flub for popping in and showing us her wonderful... her wonderful new Mort friend.
Thank you
Remember-
for having us.
Yay! Remember, somebody loves you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.